much unwatchable now, I still try to watch the Raw after WrestleMania, because that particular Raw is usually special. It has a history of being special. After WrestleMania 11, Alundra Blaze wins the women's title and Shawn Michaels turns babyface. After WrestleMania 30, Paige wins the women's title and the Ultimate Warrior gives his final speech. So stuff usually happens on that Raw. That Raw is usually special. So I try to watch the Raw after WrestleMania 33, and I almost make it through the whole thing. But then, this guy named Finn Balor comes out. He comes out, he points his fingers in the air, and the whole crowd goes, dun dun, woo! Then he walks a few more steps, and does it again, dun dun, woo! And I'm like, the hell am I looking at? Then he gets on the top rope and does it, dun, dun, woo! And at that point, I turn the channel and I never come back. Alright? This just goes to show how the wrestling fans have isolated themselves away from the mainstream. Everyone in that crowd probably subscribes to the network and knew exactly who Finn Balor was from the start. When Nakamura debuted on SmackDown, almost everyone in the crowd seemed to know exactly who he is and how to sing along, right? But for people outside this wrestling bubble, you can see how this looks weird as shit, you know? Dun, dun, woo! Let's talk about Finn Balor. Finn Balor is a skinny little guy with a big head and a stupid little jacket, alright? This reminds me of years ago when fanboys were trying to hype up The Miz, like, this is it, he's the one, he's the next big thing, you know? But then when they convince me and actually turn on the TV, all I see is a fish-faced fool with almost no crowd reaction. And now, they're trying to hype up Finn Balor like he's the next big thing, but then when he actually walks out, it's like this skinny little guy with a big head going, dun, dun, woo! You know? He looks like one of those Nintendo Wii characters, you know, with the big head and like the skinny little body, dun, dun, woo! You know? He kind of reminds me of Adam Cole from Ring of Honor. Now, there's another skinny little guy with a big head who tries to act like a badass. Except when he sticks his arms out, the crowd's like, Adam Cole, baby! You know, slightly different, equally cheesy. So maybe Finn Balor and Adam Cole could form a tag team, you know, like two skinny little guys with big heads. They make the perfect match, you know, like they look like two lollipops next to each other. You know, like they could even combine their crowd reactions, you know, like dun dun woo! Dun dun woo! Adam Cole, baby! Dun dun woo! Dun dun woo! Adam Cole, baby! Dun 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 woo! Dun dun woo! Adam Cole, baby! See? It's catchy, you know, like, but what would we call this tag team? What would be its name? You know, like, what, the Lollipop Kids? Hey, wait, I know. They should add a third member like the New Day. Austin Aries should join that team. You know, like, remember I told that story about how I went to a live TNA event and those fangirls were cheering like crazy for Austin Aries until they realized that, in their opinion, he has no ass. You know, they were like, ah, he has no ass. You know, like, so Austin Aries should join the team of Finn Balor and Adam Cole, and their team could be called Two Heads, No Ass. Yeah, two heads, no. Watch out, New Day, because here they come. Two heads, no ass. Like, you could even see how we would cheer for them. You know, like, two heads, no ass. Do, 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 do. Two heads, no ass. Do, 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 do. See? They should have me booking this shit. Let's talk about something. Remember when Shawn Michaels was a heel? He would always have like a bodyguard or a manager, and they would be outside the ring helping him and cheating for him. That dynamic made complete sense because Shawn Michaels was a cocky, arrogant, undersized heel who was going to take any advantage he could get, especially against larger opponents. The same goes for EC3. Even though EC3 is physically bigger than Shawn Michaels, he's still a rich, spoiled brat, so it makes sense that he would come out with bodyguard Tyrus. So using that logic, why doesn't Alexa Bliss have a bodyguard? Now here's a spoiled, arrogant, undersized heel who's only 5 feet tall, and yet even when she wins the title, she's walking down to the ring by herself. That doesn't make any sense. The WWE used to pay attention to stuff like this. There is no reason why world champion Alexa Bliss would be walking down to the ring by herself. She's going to have a bodyguard, like a female Psycho Sid or Diesel. She's going to take any advantage she can get to retain the title. And one of the basic things of that is having someone at ringside to help her. Alexa Bliss walking down to the ring by herself looks all wrong. I can't believe the WWE missed this. Speaking of Alexa Bliss as champion, like I said in my last video, they should have given her a long-ass New Day style title reign. In my opinion, Alexa Bliss should win the Raw title with the help of her bodyguard and keep it all the way to WrestleMania, cheating like crazy along the way. Then on the SmackDown side, Charlotte Flair should win the SmackDown Women's title and keep it all the way to WrestleMania. And then at WrestleMania 34, Charlotte should face Alexa, champion versus champion, title for title. That would make for one of the most epic women's matches in WrestleMania history. But, as we know, there is no way the WWE would have the patience for something like that. They seem to have this uncontrollable desire to bounce the belt around to all the women in the roster. Give it to Naomi, give it to Bayley. Which brings me back to Bayley. Why the hell do people like Bayley? Like I explained in my last video, she looks like a freaking peanut. She looks like the mascot at a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party. She has this hugger gimmick, but she's not even that good of a hugger. The first time I saw Bayley was at a WWE live event. She comes out and I have no idea who the hell it is, but on the big screen it says I'm a hugger or something like that, so I figured she's going to be coming down and hugging everybody. But no, she just walks in a straight line. I see her hugging fans sometimes on TV, but it's always like this awkward hug, you know? Like the kind you give to a relative you don't like awkward as hell, you know? So why the hell are they calling her hugger then? She's more of a peanut. Now let's talk about another WWE women's wrestler, Maurice. Did you notice that when The Miz and Maurice dressed up like John Cena and Nikki Bella, that they looked better than the real John Cena and Nikki Bella? Even with the fish lips, The Miz looked better than John Cena's ogre face. And Maurice, when she dressed up like Nikki Bella, she looked better than the real Nikki Bella, you know, because the Bella twins, they have that long face, you know, like the mask from the Scream movies. You know, so when Maurice, who has a more proportioned face, dresses up like Nikki Bella, she looks better than the real Nikki Bella. I was also impressed that Maurice stayed in shape. She had the flat abs. You know, this just goes to show how much the Bella twins rely on their costumes, because so many females, it seems, can come in, dress up like the Bella twins, and immediately look better than the Bella twins. I think Maurice should be the new Nikki Bella. But the bottom line is, look at all these ham and eggers, alright? The WWE is loaded with ham and eggers. In all these videos I'm making, I'm just talking about ham and eggers because it's what they have, alright? In this video I'm talking about people like The Miz and Bayley and Finn Balor, unless he joins Two Heads No Ass, of course, in which case he becomes the greatest. By the way, The Rock could never beat Austin Aries because The Rock is boots to asses and Austin Aries has no ass. Therefore, Austin Aries wins. But anyway, the WWE is loaded with ham and eggers, and it is getting so tired. It is getting so tiring watching the WWE's inability to make new stars. I mean, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. I've been doing these then-now comparison screens for 10 years. It is getting so tiring, and the WWE really needs to start getting its act together. They need to get on the ball. They need to get on the stick. They just need to get down to business. Let's get down to business, 'cause the product's subpar. Did they send us jobbers when we asked for stars? You're the saddest roster I've ever seen, so the ratings will stay at 2 until someone makes some stars out of you. Be a star, you must fly high like the Heartbreak Kid. Be a star, you must run fast like the Warrior did. Be a star, you must be strong like a Brahma Bull. Only then will your arenas be full. They should play that at the Performance Center. since I have some time at the end of this video and I'm tired of talking about ham and eggers, I wanted to talk about the legends and some of the issues they face. In my last video, I talked about how The Undertaker should have embraced his position as a grizzled old veteran instead of dyeing his hair and dyeing his beard and trying to look like he did 30 years ago. And that holds true for a lot of wrestlers. Shawn Michaels is a middle-aged married man, alright? He is no longer the Heartbreak Kid. And yet, when he comes down to the ring, he's still coming out to his Sexy Boy song. It's ridiculous. He looks like he's cosplaying a younger version of himself. That holds true for a lot of wrestlers, especially the ones with the pretty boy gimmicks. The model Rick Martel was doing the model gimmick into his middle ages. Buff Bagwell still looks good, but how long is that gimmick going to last? These wrestlers, many of them, later in their careers, in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they're still cosplaying themselves from when they were 30. And it doesn't look right, alright? They need to start being more like Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is doing it right. He's still not trying to be Diesel from 1995, alright? He has a short gray haircut, a short gray beard. He's embracing himself for who he is right now. And that, in my opinion, looks a lot better.